Hello, welcome back to the HCCTV Student Lounge. This is a show done by HCC students for HCC students to give your opinions in news, entertainment, and what's going on in your school. My name is Kyle Aragon. Hi, Carolina. How are you today?
Hey Kyle, good to see you again. We are also joined today by Francisco, Josh, Andres, Eric, Vincent, Beth, and we have our new team member, Diego Atkinson. We will also be joined by our guest, Jackie Gill, who is here to talk about the Harris County public transportation. But first, let's move into our top 3 news of the week. Houston is hosting some recreational sports, the Rocket League tournament, and the deadline to register is Thursday, October 22. It's open to all currently enrolled HCC students, and you can check your HCC emails to register as well. Gamers will complete a single or double elimination tournament, and prizes for first, second, and third place are there. Also, the iPhone 12 is finally official, and it was unveiled alongside the new iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12 Pro, and iPhone 12 Pro Max during the company's virtual October event. The company has confirmed the whole range of iPhone products in 2020 will be having the 5G ready, allowing you to enjoy super fast download and browsing speeds on your phone. All four handsets feature a new design, including new colors, and there are a variety of changes to the camera on the rear, the power inside each phone, and other features. Do you want to get this new iPhone, Kyle?
Oh, I definitely do. I'm so excited about it, especially the Pro Max. I saw the camera capabilities. I'm a photographer and also video maker, so I got really excited when I saw the camera specs. The only thing that I'm a little bit upset is because they decided to remove the charger from the box and the cable because they want to save, they don't want a product waste. So, I mean, I understand, but I know this is also a little bit of BS, kind of like, okay, let's reduce the cost of, producing all those chargers and stuff and make people buying the wireless jet. It's probably going to be really expensive because you know how things are. So I'm a little bit upset about that, but let's see if it's worth it.
I don't know if that's more like ecological, because if you're an iPhone person, I think you already had the previous one. So you're updating and you still have the charger from the previous one, and they have the trade-in. So you usually give it back. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get it. I mean, the camera always get better, but everything else stays the same. So I don't know.
Well, it's true about the charger, but since you talk about that, but I bought probably already 3 or 4 on Amazon because they get bad, the cables break. So either way, like we're still buying anyways. The difference we're spending our own money to buy them now, not Apple. So so that's what I'm saying. Like it's a little bit being smart in that aspect. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do a wireless charge. This lasts longer, and we may don't need to be buying like a bunch of chargers. So who knows?
Oh, yeah, I have that one. Now, magical new Harry Potter theme bar transports Houstonians to Diagon Alley. The Muggle-less bar will open today, October 16. By the time you see this, it will be already open at 1100 Main Street. The organizers tout that the space has been transformed into an immersive experience with wall-to-ceiling magical decor and photo op stations where guests can take selfies from Howard's Express platform and common rooms area of Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. What do you think, Gaia?
I'm so excited for it. You have no idea. Like when I read those news, like what? I love Harry Potter. We actually just finished rewatching the whole, like all the movies, and it's so much fun. Like there's no way that you cannot like Harry Potter. And especially for those that have been in the parks, the Universal parks, it's such a great experience to literally feel like you're in the movies. And I feel like this bar is gonna feel like you're there. Especially for the few drinks.
I know. I want to go check it out. Now, let's begin our first topic, which makes way to a great discussion: mass transportation versus personal vehicle. There are pros and cons in both types of transportation, but my personal feeling is that we should start making our decisions around what helps more the environment, right? Cars can convey a sense of freedom and movement, not to mention style and status. but they also have a big impact on the planet. Nowadays, there are so many new alternatives which we should start considering. And well, now in Houston, moving in public transportation is kind of a challenging task as well. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, it's funny that you asked me that because, I was raised in Brazil, and over there we depend on public transportation to pretty much go everywhere we want. Sometimes we gotta get 3 buses to get where we want, but at least we have that option. And I feel like in Houston you don't really have that option. And when I was in college in Brazil, I used to get 2 buses and a ferry boat to actually get to my school. And driving would take probably longer than actually getting the public transportation because there's so much traffic. And my favorite part about the public transportation is because I could take a nap, or read a book, or I didn't need to be worried about like driving or being stuck. So I had an hour of just me. I could sleep, I could read, I could do homework. I've done a lot of homework, I'm not gonna lie. So and it was good to have the free time. There's other points, and to discuss that, I'll bring Eric. Eric, what do you think about public transportation?
Well, my opinion is in support of that because I think that's very important that people in the big cities like New York, Chicago, LA, or here in Houston have a way of getting to work or to home because not everybody has a car in a big city. Some people have to rely on other ways to get there and they don't all have that advantage. And I think that even though there are issues with greenhouse gases, polluting the environment, buses, subways, light rails, cabs, they're very important to people in all kinds of ways, whether it's to get their kids or to just go to work. There is some talk right now about having maybe AI drive buses and light rails, maybe cabs over in California with Elon Musk. But I think that that should be an important topic for everyone to get into. And I think that that's the way of the future.
My bus doesn't run except for at 5 in the morning. And then I think again at 7, and you're standing out there early. Sometimes it's just easier to take your own vehicle and you can avoid a lot of other issues by, getting there when you want to.
Having a car is very expensive. Even a moderately cheap car, still you have to worry about the maintenance, you have to worry about oil, you have to worry about gas, and everyone knows that you get a tire. It's not a matter if a tire flat, it's not a matter if, it's a matter when. And this stacks up. You have to worry about this constantly, and not everyone can afford that all the time. It can hinder someone. And I want to live in a society where there's equal opportunity to go to everywhere without having to worry about that. Even getting a license can be a hindrance.
Oh, guys, it's so good to see, to hear your opinions. Yes, there are some pros and cons about having your own vehicle, and ideally, the public transportation wants to be more accessible to those people who can't afford having a car, or so many things there. So ideally, yeah, it should be more accessible and better for the planet. But cars bring like a lot of confidence that you can move everywhere whenever you want, whenever you can, and feel safe. Now, also, if you guys want to tell us more about this topic, what you think about, you can comment below in our YouTube channel. And let's move on into our special guest. Kayo, who do you have for today?
So today we have Jacqueline Gill, and she's the media specialist for the Harris County Public Transportation. And since we're talking about public transportation, there's nobody better than her to talk about this topic. So first of all, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and chat with all of you and hopefully try to convert many of you into transit users. The great thing about Houston and our leaders, our local leaders, and even our congressional leaders that support transit is that there's so many great projects that are in the works right now that are going to make transportation very accessible. And the one thing that obviously the challenge here is always funding and how widespread our city is. I mean, it quite literally takes 1 hour to get from one side of Houston to the other side of Houston. And that's just the reality of it because Houston is just so expansive. And at the same time, traffic has congestion, all these single occupant vehicles. That means that, the students that drive because a lot of the universities here, they're really catering more to commuters. And so you have a lot of students that drive to school. And so that's one of the things that when you're just driving by yourself, you're adding more vehicles on the highways. And so, there's so many other great other alternative ways to get to school. And, one of them is public transportation and of course, carpooling. We definitely support that. And of course, something that's going to save a lot of money and also get you to exercise a lot is biking or walking. And so that's one of the things that we support. We love bikes on transit. So, I'm hoping to convert with all the knowledge that you're about to learn from me to convert you into a transit user.
Perfect. So since you're talking about that, incentivizing people, Metro and HCC actually have some sort of partnership, right? Some sort of discount. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The the HCC program in that partnership that we have is really across all schools. It's not just for HCC, it's for everybody. And that is the great thing about our leadership, is that they saw the need for this type of incentive. And this is the reason why every year we partner with colleges. And every time that a student is enrolled, they go to orientation, we are there. We are partners with all these colleges because, or any educational institution, because we want to make sure that if they need transportation, they have it. And we want to teach them everything about our system and how they can best use it, year round.
That's good that you think about, the students, and again, it's a lot of money that we spend already in school. So if you need to worry also about, public transportation, all that would be even a higher cost. So I actually want to pass along to Andres. We have a few minutes left. So Andres, you want to ask her something. So go ahead.
Jackie, I want to ask you, for example, if I'm a student and I want to go to HCC, so how can I know where to take the buses? So I know that Metro has an app in the cell phone, but how can I use that app?
Okay, so one of the things that we have done is really try to make it very convenient for students to use. We know that everybody's on their cell phone, right? And so we have updated our app. For example, Ride Metro. People can download that app, and what it does is very simple to use. All you have to do is type in where you're starting your journey, like for example your address, the beginning address, and then you type in the final destination basically, and it tells you literally exactly step by step what to do. If you have to walk over a block, east, north, west, wherever, it will tell you you need to walk a block over to catch the bus or the rail system, and it'll give you different options on what buses or what the rail system, rail line you need to take. And so that's one of the things that benefits the student, is that if they're truly not familiar with Houston or with the bus system, it tells you step by step what to do. And the good thing about this is that this app was specifically created and developed for those who have disabilities. For example, individuals who cannot see a cell phone can hear an audio of the directions of what they need to do. Also, it vibrates. So if you have reached your bus stop, it will vibrate as soon as you have reached that bus stop. And that was one of the main things that we wanted to do, is that we wanted to make this app very intuitive for anybody to use. I mean, we're talking about whatever language you speak, you can change the language to whether it's Spanish or French or Vietnamese. you are able to do that with the Ride Metro app. And within that app, you can also purchase your tickets. And that's very important, especially right now with COVID-19, and where you don't want to be touching money. You can actually pay your fare through your cell phone. And as soon as you pay for your fare, you just show the bus operator that you have paid. And we have a lot of how-to videos on our YouTube channel on how you can go contactless and use that type of pavement. But one of the things that I once again commend the leadership is that they have been able to instruct the Metro employees on the projects that are very important, and having everybody on their cell phones, that was just an easy way to go and invest money in apps that will be very beneficial to the public. So that's one of the things that we have, Ride Metro app. We have also MPD Connect. MPD Connect is, it's a very different, that's more of a safety security type of app in which you can download it. And what you can do is, if you see something on the system, you can directly speak to a police officer. If you see something happening, you can even send a picture. You can snap a picture, send it to them, and you can you can text, and it works very well. They're able to, especially if they're nearby, they're able to get to that location, and they're able to respond right away.
Perfect, Jackie. We have one question really fast because we're running out of time.
Okay.
So what precautions are you guys taking for the COVID-19?
We are doing so many things to ensure that our essential workers that are using our system right now have access to hand sanitizer and masks. At the end of each of what we call run, what that means is at the beginning of where the bus comes out of a garage, all the way to the end of what we call the line. Every single time we're cleaning the buses, and before anybody boards, we're giving them masks if they don't have masks, but we do require individuals to wear masks while on board. And we're also encouraging social distancing. And the way that we did this, and we were actually one of the very first transportation agencies that did this, we ended up using some we call them tags, but they're really basically posters. And we would block those, or we would mark those seats unavailable, and then we would leave one open. So that way you're not really sitting next to somebody. You're kind of spreading out as much as possible. And another thing that our leadership did was that they, on what we call the most traveled routes, for example, let's say the number 82, which is our very popular route. It's our Westheimer route. That route, for example, got more service. And what I mean by that is that service comes every 10 minutes. So they put out more buses to be able to get
Jackie, I'm sorry to cut you in. Like, we need to move on to the next segment because we are over time.
Yes.
But it was a lot of good information. I really appreciate you being here today. And now we need to move on. Thank you so much. And we hope to have you again. And then you can share more about all those great things that Metro is doing for us as students and anybody else.
More nuggets here for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. What's going on now, Carolina?
Well, Vincent, now you have our gaming news. What's up in gaming world?
Hey, thanks, Carolina. Speaking about public transportation real quick, I'm from New York City, and I take the train a lot over there. And I've seen some crazy stuff. I also caught it on camera, so let me show you guys real quick. Ew, gross. Is that a rat?
Hey man, I'm just trying to get around.
Oh, no problem, Sarah. Okay, carry on. Yo, I swear, that rat was huge. And also, I swear, it talked to me. But anyways, let's jump back to gaming news. Okay, so it's almost that time of the year, guys. Halloween. And with Halloween comes Halloween events. So for us gamers, we love to celebrate Halloween by dressing up in the video games we love. In Animal Crossing, you can log in every single day to unlock a new costume in the tailor shop. In Overwatch, the more you play, the more loot boxes you get. You can also unlock costumes in that game. In Call of Duty Warzone, we have Leatherface and Jigsaw coming as costumes to the game. There's also many more events in other online games, so share what you're looking forward to in the comments below. Okay, I'm gonna pass it on back to you guys.
Vincent, everything sounds so interesting. I'm not a gaming person, but I know gaming people. So all my friends are going to enjoy all this great news. Kaio, now what shows are out that you want to talk to us about related to the topic?
Since you were talking about transportation, actually I want to recommend Transformers. It's not exact transportation, it is but it not, but I just love that movie and I watched when I was a kid and I really like the first one. The other ones are good too, but the first one is just, you know, a special thing that I have with. And actually after watching that movie, I fell in love with the Camaro. You know, I love the car. And I think my love starts over there when I saw, you know, Bumblebee and all those little cars becoming like robots and like, you know, it's just a great movie. And I think everybody likes that movie. I haven't met anyone that's like, you know, Transformers, but especially they even have the little minifigures that you can collect, the little cars. So I just love that movie so much. And what about you guys? Who's next?
So I'd like to recommend a movie called The Terminal. It's a Tom Hanks movie, and I guess it's technically about transportation, but not really. So it's about a man who he comes to the U.S. To fulfill like one of his father's lifelong wishes, but his father passed away. But as soon as he gets to the airport here, his home country falls into like civil war. So because there's all these international laws involved with like transporting people across countries, the federal agents are actually not allowed to let him leave the airport, but they're also not allowed to let him go back home. So for over 9 months, he just lives in the airport basically, and he has to like wait out, hoping that something happens, like either something gets cleared up or he's allowed to leave. So it's a really interesting movie, and it really kind of shows you something that a way that people can rely on, or the people have to rely on transportation that you don't always think about.
I want to recommend the movie Battleship. Battleship is a movie about two Navy ships that fight out in the Gulf, out in Hawaii, the waters of Hawaii, and the whole movie takes place on these two ships, and they're battling some alien threats. It's very sci-fi-ish, but the whole topic of the movie is about traveling on ships and who was the best battleship to take on these enemies. And the ending result is that they kind of lose, but they kind of win because they end up using a old World War II ship in the Pearl Harbor exhibit, which ends up being the savior of the day. So I think that's a good kind of way to end the movie, with that kind of historic ending and epic ending as well. So again, it's called Battleship. It's not that old. It came out a few years ago, but I think it's a good movie for an entire family to watch, and it's very similar to this topic. Thank you.
I'm going to recommend the movie Airplane. It's about a veteran who chases his wartime girlfriend onto an airplane, and both the pilots fall ill. So he, as a former veteran, has to try and land the plane while taking instructions from the stewardess. And it kind of shows that anything that can go wrong on public transportation will go wrong, and it's something to take note of.
Thank you so much, Josh. So guys, it's the time of the day to say goodbye. As always, stick to the end because we have the funny meme of the week or the funny video. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you to everyone who participated in this show. It was so informative. Thanks to our special guest for being here. And please don't forget to send us all your opinion. Also send us topics that you'd like to discuss. We'll see you next time on the Student Lounge.